But here, my seniors in the room, ladies and a few gentlemen, good morning once again. I'm very tempted to say, Akina Mama hi! Akina Mama hi! So in my recent life, I've been in the political field where everyone is Akina Mama hi! Well, my name is Patience Nyange, and I am the Executive Director at the Association of Media Women in Kenya, where you are all members. And the reason that we are gathered here today is to celebrate one another, to meet and greet. I'm very humbled to be part of this convening today. Amwik was established about 40 years ago. There are many of you here who are less than 40 years. Yeah, so it was established before you were born. Well, I belong in that category. Our mission, since then to today, to see a society that enhances and promotes equitable development, human rights and women's rights. We seek to use the media to promote an informed and gender-responsive society in Kenya and in Africa. I take this opportunity today to welcome you at this event. We have really longed for this event. Is Ivy Mwangi in this group? Ivy, not Mwangi, but Ivy. Ivy? Ivy, where are you? There you go. We are looking forward to the dance, you know. Today we'll have a conversation between us at a time when Amwik is navigating its role in a robust and fast-changing media environment. This talk is happening in one of the finest traditional ways where the meet and greet offers a unique opportunity to delve into Amwik's journey, the past, the present, the future that we all desire to see. I have been in Amwik for 16 years today. We are here to speak to our issues and to hear from ourselves as we seek to improve and advance ideas that promote our shared interests while we strive to safeguard our space and the gains made. I see many of our seasoned media practitioners whose record of devoted service to the industry speaks for itself. I know some of these are people we really celebrate in the industry, and we celebrate you today. Thank you for being members of Amwik. You need no introduction. I also see very many of you who've joined the media recently. Some of you are still in school. I've met students from ZTech in this kind of speed dating. I've also met students from MKU. You're all welcome in this space. You're pretty new to Amwik. We welcome you. Please feel at home. This mix produces one excellent, significant, promising, and inspiring, and sometimes too loud a family, with all the media volatility inherent to a free and open society. Assuming leadership at this time for certain, it deserves or really requires one to have certain characteristics. First, a humble awareness of our generation's responsibility to improve in building a solid Amwik, and second, competence. Our contribution to the industry growth must be anchored on merit, conviction, and key perceptiveness in the environment we practice to live in. For me, serving at Amwik is both a privilege and a responsibility. I come in to offer leadership and stimulate your trust in navigating maddeningly complex issues, holding our values foremost, and I have dealt pragmatically in situations filled with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm sure most of you know all it. But I have done this while listening and maintaining respect for those that disagree with me, which is a required attribute for leadership in an open society. I invite you not only to ask questions all the time, but also to propose solutions and to help us navigate Amwik in a spirit that is consistent with our values, all of us as members. We sent out a questionnaire 1 month ago and we received your responses. Some pretty interesting feedback. I can assure you today, because we will have the consultant here with us in a few minutes to take us through those kind of feedback. Some of you are exhausted, tired of being Amwik members. Others are very excited, extremely excited, and some of you are completely lost about what Amwik is. I understand all of you. One of the things that I think is most clear to us right now is that we are at a reflection point. So we must decide collectively to step up and make things better. Not for me as Patience, but for Amwik. Many of us have been there before and others will come after me. And I'm sure you remember all this. We've had Marceline, we've had Judy Kaberia, we've had Jen Thuo. There will be many other people who will be sitting in this position as EDs today or board chairs today. Amwik is more significant than any of us. We must be intentional about building an institution that outlives personalities. And to put it in a broader perspective, we cannot continue living in the past. An intense effort is underway to shape and define what is next for Amwik. That the very moment we should be thinking of and living in is making Amwik great. I'm not saying making Amwik great again. I'm only saying making Amwik great. Part of this is the renewed hope and collective power within us, and that the very much of the heart is the strategy. Part of this is trying to figure out ways, and in ways that we haven't done before, how to solve some of the huge challenges that are having a direct impact on women in media, whether it's mental health, sexual and gender-based violence, pay gap, opportunities, career development, promotions and growth of the workplace, safety, whether it's the role of all the emerging technologies and so many other issues that are shaping our lives today as women in the media. And all of that is reflected in this, our new strategy that we have to delve in today, all of us. I think many administrations have come in with the hope that we will have a more stable, more funded and growing Amwik, with greater plans and opportunities for its members and a predictable future, precisely because there's so many big things that we want to be working on for the betterment of our members. However, pessimists, disruptors, naysayers will always be there. And this can cause tremendous distraction and trouble at times. This is not an aggression against me, Patience Nyange, for example, or those who work at the Secretariat or the board. This is an aggression against the basic principles embedded in the Amwik values and whole series of norms and rules that many of us labor to see and build an organization that we can all be proud in. Are they perfect? Far from it. Have they made many mistakes before in designing them and in the application? Of course they have. But fundamentally, they have helped us make that and make sure that we minimize and contain conflict amongst ourselves. Amwik, from my perspective, if you and I and many others, if you don't stand to defend Amwik and demand respect for its independence, its integrity in the media, its standing with partners, its members, if we don't stand up to speak where it's being challenged for the wrong reasons, then we risk to have it opening it up to where aggressors will act with impunity. However, this is not to say that Amwik members or the board or the secretariat is not open to criticism. Indeed, we are, but let's engage each other with decorum. Let's not be picked from the grapevine. It must be structured. We all have differences of view and differences of perspective, but we have to defend and challenge our interests as well as our own values if we intend to grow as Amwik members. We have seen in the recent past the emergence of, or clearly negative aspects within Amwik and its relationship. But there also remains a lot of complementing and cooperative aspects, and those keep us going. And we can't lose sight of those, because some of those challenges we have a lot harder to solve if we're not engaged in trying to solve them. So today, this is my appeal as Patience Nyange. As I stand here before you as the Executive Director, we appeal for collective strength. It will go towards a positive vision for the future, and it can be incredibly transformative. I want to make sure that we take Amwik to where it needs to be. So we must all move in the same direction, working together to shape standards and rules that define our interests and strength. Amwik can only be good and bad as the makeup of its membership. Failure and success premised on the premium premised on its members. My job as Executive Director today is to try and get things done better, differently, more efficiently, more effectively, cutting through the bureaucracies, if any, forging more perfect association with something that my team at the Secretariat and I are working on every day. We promise membership value, membership engagement and membership satisfaction. For the very first time, you have a CEO or an EG who will engage you directly. When you call me, I will respond. When you text me, I will respond. Well, it will take a few hours before I respond, but at least I will respond. If you're not present in the room, it's probably not going to happen. So you showing up here today, amidst all the challenges and turbulence we have had, to participate in this event, putting away your concerns and frustrations or even criticism makes a very loud statement. Please clap for yourselves. Indeed, you're ready for the change that we all desire. Some of you have come from far counties such as Busia, Kisumu, Kisii, Elgeyo Marakwet, Mombasa, my sisters from Taita Taveta County, and much more. More than 20 counties are represented here today. Our partners have spent lots of money to see you here and to make this event happen. It's a real sacrifice, and we don't take it for granted. We are on course. You and I are the difference that Amwik has been yearning for. Amwik has been waiting for this difference. Let's engage. Let's roll up our sleeves. Just by showing up, you have inspired confidence in us. So let's all partner together and build trust in one another. That way, things will get done. Amwik will flourish. And we shall benefit not just in our profession, but because Amwik has so much more to contribute to the transformation of media, particularly the women in the industry. And that's what we are committing today and every single day of our work as we serve you at Amwik. Thank you very much for listening to me. Well, let's meet and greet. That's why we're here today. Allow me to take this opportunity as well to appreciate all our partners who have made this day a success. Thank you. We appreciate